Have you ever wondered how professional photographers capture such stunning images? This question might just strike you when you come across a breathtaking photograph that seems to perfectly blend reality with artistry. It might be a majestic landscape, a poignant portrait, moment, or an ordinary scene masterfully transformed into visual poetry. The magic lies not in expensive equipment or post-processing methods, but primarily in the photographer's knowledge and understanding of the fundamental principles of photography. They know how to manipulate light, play with angles, and use various to create depth, attract attention, or evoke emotions. They are masters in blending colors, controlling exposure, and leveraging the power of composition. How do they manage to do it? It's a mixture of innate talent, hours of practice, absolute dedication, and a deep understanding of the photographic medium. They see the world differently, always searching for the extraordinary in the ordinary and extracting beauty from the mundane. Today we delve into this captivating world and unravel the secrets behind those mesmerizing shots. Photography, at its core, is about capturing light. This beautiful art form is rooted in a simple yet profound concept: the interplay of light. It's a delicate dance, a ballet of sorts, where light pirouettes around your subject, casting shadows, creating depth and adding texture. This interaction, this dance of light, can elevate an image from ordinary to extraordinary. It can make an image sing with vibrancy or resonate with melancholy. It can bring to life, freezing it in time for all eternity. The foundation of this art form is understanding how your camera reads and captures this light. It's not enough to merely capture light. One must learn to master it, to bend it to one's will. And in the world of photography, this mastery is attained through knowledge and manipulation of three fundamental parameters: aperture, shutter, and ISO. Each of these elements is a piece of a puzzle, each contributing to the final image in its unique way. The aperture controls the amount of light that enters the camera, the shutter speed determines the duration of the light's entry, and the ISO adjusts the camera's sensitivity to light. Together they form what's often referred to as the exposure triangle. This process is governed by three fundamental parameters: aperture, shutter speed, and ISO, often referred to as the exposure triangle. Aperture, a fundamental aspect of photography, is responsible for regulating the amount of light that enters the camera's lens. Analogous to the functioning of the human eye, particularly the pupil, aperture operates by expanding and contracting to adjust the light intake. Just our pupils dilate in dim light to permit more light in and contract in bright light to limit the light exposure, the aperture of a camera behaves similarly. A larger or wider aperture will allow a greater amount of light to flow into the camera, leading to the creation of a brighter, more illuminated image. On the contrary, a smaller or narrower aperture limits the light entering the lens and results in relatively darker, dimmed. This ability to control light has a wide range of applications, from capturing perfect shots in different lighting conditions to creating a specific mood or atmosphere in a photograph. Notably, the aperture doesn't just deal with the light, but it also holds an immense influence over the depth of field, a critical element that determines how much of your image appears in sharp, clear focus. The depth of field is essentially the range of distance in a photo that appears sharp, and the aperture can either broaden or shrink this range. Depending on the size of the aperture, you can control the level of sharpness of different elements in your image, giving you the creative freedom to draw attention to specific parts of your photograph. Hence, aperture not only controls the amount of light entering the camera's lens, but also controls the depth of field, thereby significantly influencing how much of your image is in sharp focus. Next, we have shutter speed, which dictates the duration for which light is allowed into the camera. The magic of photography rests in this crucial element, shutter speed. It's the unseen hand that controls the flow of light, shaping the final image that your camera's sensor records. Imagine shutter speed as a gatekeeper, controlling the floodgates of light entering the camera lens. Now, let's delve deeper into the concept. A shutter speed that is faster allows less light into the camera, but it also has the remarkable ability of freezing motion. It captures the world in a split second, preserving everything in razor-sharp detail, like a hummingbird's wing or a drop of rain caught in descent. It's through this mechanism that photographers can capture the world in a way the human eye can't. immortalizing fleeting moments of beauty and grandeur. On the other hand, a slower shutter speed opens the gate wider, letting in more light. But it also brings with it a whole different effect, a sense of movement or blur. This is often used to create the illusion of speed or to highlight the passage of time, like a waterfall appearing silky smooth or star trails streaking across the night sky. It's a way to visually articulate movement, providing a dynamic element to still images. So, shutter speed does more than just control light. It's a powerful tool in the photographer's arsenal, enabling them to manipulate time and motion to craft stunning, evocative images. A faster shutter speed freezes motion, capturing everything in sharp detail, while a slower shutter speed can create a sense of movement or blur. The third cornerstone of the exposure triangle is ISO. In the realm of photography and videography, ISO plays a vital role. It is one of the three fundamental elements that form the exposure triangle, along with aperture and shutter speed. ISO is essentially the level at which your camera's sensor responds to light. This is significant in capturing images as it helps us control the brightness of an image. To comprehend this better, you can think of ISO as the body's response to temperature. When it's cold, our bodies shiver, and when it's hot, we sweat. Similarly, the camera's sensor adjusts its sensitivity based on the ISO settings we select. However, it's crucial to maintain a balance because a higher ISO doesn't always correlate to better pictures. A higher ISO does indeed make the image brighter, but it can also introduce unwanted elements into your image. One such element is digital noise or grain. The grain refers to the tiny colored specks that appear on your image, muddying the colors and textures, thus decreasing the image quality. It's like watching a television channel with poor reception. The image becomes fuzzy and less sharp. Therefore, while a high ISO can assist when shooting in low light, it's essential to be aware of the potential drawbacks. Think of ISO as a double-edged sword. On one side, it can aid in capturing high-quality images in challenging light conditions. On the other side, a misstep in its use can lead to disappointing results. Hence, understanding ISO and using it correctly is crucial for anyone interested in the art of photography. A higher ISO will produce a brighter image but may also introduce more digital noise or grain. Understanding and manipulating these three parameters to achieve your desired effect is the key to unlocking your camera's potential. It's instrumental in unleashing your artistic vision and making you a better photographer. Several elements come into play when using your camera to its full capacity. Photography is a blend of art and science. It's not just about understanding the technical aspects, but also about having an artistic flair. It's about exploring the world through your lens and capturing moments that tell a story. Every image you capture isn't merely a photograph, but a reflection of your unique perspective. One cannot overlook the importance of composition in photography. It is the arrangement of elements in a photograph that helps you guide the viewer's eyes to what you want them to see. Techniques like the rule of thirds, leading lines, and framing are some of the fundamentals to consider. They help you create compelling and aesthetically pleasing images. The rule of thirds: you to split an image into thirds, both horizontally and vertically. This technique gives you 9 parts. And the theory suggests that if you place points of interest along these lines or at the intersections, your photo becomes more balanced. Leading lines are lines within an image that leads the eye to another point in the image, or occasionally out of the image. Frames, on the other hand, are objects that are positioned around the edge of the composition that help to isolate the main subject from the rest of the image. But remember, these rules are just guidelines to help you shape your photographic style. They are not set in stone. There is beauty in breaking rules, in stepping out of the conventional boundaries and finding your own voice. So don't be afraid to experiment, to try different things and find a style that resonates with you. But rules are there to be broken. Don't be afraid to experiment and find your own style. Lighting, too, plays a crucial role in photography. Whether it's the soft, diffused light of an overcast day, the golden hues of the golden hour, or the dramatic interplay of light and shadow in a chiaroscuro shot, understanding how to use light to your advantage can elevate your photography to new heights. To summarize, mastering the basics of photography involves understanding the exposure triangle, using composition techniques to create balanced images, and harnessing the power of light. It's about learning the rules and knowing when to break them. It's about practice, patience, and continual learning. It's about seeing the world through your lens and capturing it in a way that resonates with you. So pick up your camera, venture out into the world and start capturing the beauty that surrounds you.